that while you're on.
Hello, everyone. I'm Marty Janeski, and along with my good friend Ken Montroy, we're your host of the local sports wrap-up here on Wyandotte Cable, Channel 15. Today is Friday, September 27th, and so we won't have any scores. Ken, how was your week?
Pretty good. I got to tell you, though, fall is in the air. Did you see all that moisture out there? If somebody wants to go up north, it's starting to get cold. In fact, already on the west coast, they're expecting a snowstorm coming in by Billings, Montana. Remember we bowled there?
We did bowl there.
And wasn't it storming there?
The day we left.
The day we left, the snow was going sideways. The day before, we were in T-shirts.
It was 60 degrees for 2 days in Billings in the last week of February. They kept telling the locals, is this how it always is in February here?
Why do you guys not like it here?
And then when we flew out Sunday morning, it was like 8 below and snowing sideways. I remember that vividly.
Well, it's coming, so it's just taking a while to get here.
It'll take a while to get here.
Yes, but...
So football's happening right now. Interesting setup with Wyandotte with a 2-1, Allen Park's 2-1, Trenton's 2-1, Woodhaven's 3-0.
There's going to be a little separation after this.
Allen Park plays Woodhaven.
That's going to be a tough one.
Game of the week.
Who do you like?
The way Woodhaven manhandled us, I would assume they're pretty large up front.
Yes, they have some big fellas. And when you get wet weather, as history has shown, the bigger fellas, when they swat them little guys, they just go sliding everywhere. So I would think Woodhaven.
But if Allen Park, it's a home game for them. If they upset Woodhaven, then it's a four-way tie for the top.
They upset Woodhaven because everybody came down from the stands and played on their team.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Well, that's the game of the week, I understand, too.
Game of the week.
Watch Channel 7 or 2 or 4, whatever it is.
Was it really?
Or our station.
Yes. They'll have results later in the week. The coach will come on and talk all about the game tonight.
Right.
We have games next week, after this week.
Who plays next week?
Woodhaven plays Southgate. That's probably a bye, sort of. Southgate's 2-2 going into today. Yeah, Edsel Ford's playing Lincoln Park.
That'll be a game.
Maybe.
Oh, it will be. They're both kind of equally balanced, I think. Could be wrong, but
Allen Park's playing Ferndale.
Ferndale.
That's their non-league. Oh, it's up on the board there. Trenton's playing Carlson.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have Taylor. Taylor currently is 0-4, and I expect Wyandotte to beat Lincoln Park today and be 3-1.
And then,
as you called it last week, they have a bye.
sorry, Lincoln Park.
They won't take it that way.
Especially because this week they're honoring the 1976 football team, and they had a they had a banquet for them. So I really feel bad dogging out Lincoln Park football right now.
Right. They were an undefeated team. They were 4 years in after a millage took football away from the schools back in the 70s. I lived that season. You lived that season.
I did. They didn't take the kids from the school, though.
And we went, they got in the Lincoln Park Hall of Fame. They had a nice banquet last night for all that. And we had a nice banquet last night for the Wyandotte Cable people.
We had a wonderful. Finally, we got to recognize all the people that help us out in this. Well, not only the volunteers, but the people behind the scenes, obviously, like Amy and Caroline, Joel and Calvin, and all the other people.
You have an advertising department?
Yes, we do.
And we
Except
have
I didn't get to meet all of them.
The people that councilmen support.
Oh, that's right.
And
yes,
councilwomen support.
Yeah.
So it was nice. We got together at the boat club, a nice local event, and had a good time. Got to meet some of the people that run the other shows, work on the other shows.
Yes.
A couple of them. And I told them all our show was better.
Well, that's good, Marty. I appreciate that. I wonder if they did. But anyway, so football's done.
Yeah, we'll know more next week. This week, though, we had a couple things. JV volleyball won a tournament last week in Grosville.
Nice. That's nice.
They beat Grosville in the finals.
Not an easy
That
task.
was last weekend. That was good.
Not an easy task, yes.
What else we got? Cross country. Wyandotte was first.
Nice.
Not bad.
Nice. At least we can run far.
Yeah, that's a good thing. This weekend, we got the middle school playing Monroe Jefferson. The 9th grade football team beat Lincoln Park Yeah, it seems to be easy.
Yeah, they're on hard
It's
times.
ninth grade and JV, as we've mentioned before. They're combined. They're combined teams.
Makes it tough.
And today they had tennis going. I don't know if they got it in. It's raining right now. If you couldn't tell, we're filming in the evening. And the Powder Puff game, though, the Powder Puff game for the high school, next Thursday, the 3rd of October. You ever been to one?
A powder puff? No. I can't say I have. Did they have that when we were in school?
They did.
Wow,
They
I must have
did.
been really busy. Isn't that the girls that play?
The girls, the athletic girls in the school, they go by grades, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and they play flag football.
Wow.
And the boys football players become the cheerleaders.
Oh, that I would love to see
See,
that.
that's, well, what do we got? We got...
Could you see Don Willis in a tutu out there cheering for that team? I would love to see it.
probably-
Don, if you're watching.
Probably got
love to
real
see you
comfortable with that.
there. Led to other things, I'm sure.
And 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock Thursday here at the football field. And
Wow, they use the whole football field for that?
maybe we should drop by at that one.
Those girls use the whole football field for that?
Absolutely. It's real
Wow.
football. It's touch, but it's real football.
Wow.
So somebody's got to throw it, and they
They
run
don't use
routes.
like half the field, huh?
They run routes. They do the same thing in volleyball.
Really?
The schools, the 11th graders, 12th graders, 9th graders, 10th graders, they get teams together, and the boys that learn to play the game or know the game, and the girls coach. And I want to say my daughter's class won 3 out of the 4 seasons she was in there. They get the
nice.
football kids and the baseball kids, and
Oh, I bet they got a lot of the boys cheering up in the stands, too.
it's pretty intense.
I had a question. You mentioned about tennis. I played tennis for a little bit. It never occurred to me playing in the rain. If they play in the rain, do you
I
know?
would say a light sprinkle, but I wouldn't think anything more than that.
Okay, well, the reason I say that is because back when I played, they had wooden rackets, the majority, but they started coming along with the metal rackets. Now, I understand it in electrical storm with the metal rackets, okay? But with the wooden rackets, come on, you guys could still play. I don't know who's there to say when the cutoff is.
Yeah, I would say once it gets slippery enough where you can't cut. That would be my guess.
That'd be my guess, too. I think they changed surfaces now to where they have that, the little stones or pebbles in them so that they can get more traction.
A little
That's
more
correct.
grip. A little more grip. I would
Fantastic.
think.
Well, they had soccer last week. Lincoln Park won 3 out of 3.
So they're good at something.
They absolutely did. Woodhaven, they play Woodhaven and Edsel Ford. This week, Trenton beat Wyandotte 3-0. Darn, that's tough. Tough on the kids when you don't score. It's one thing whenever you get beat 3-1, 3-2, or something.
And I will say that with the boys' soccer season being concurrent with the boys' football season, that's partially why your numbers are down in boys' football. If it was a spring sport,
Yeah, that might.
you could play it in the spring. You couldn't play it so much in the winter. But if it was a spring sport, it might be less competition. I mean, you need 40, 50 people for a good football team. Baseball only carries.
could ask any coach about
baseball
that.
in the fall only carries. I mean, in the spring they only carry no more than, I'm sure, 15, 16. So if you did soccer in the spring, and there's a big unit on the soccer sideline too, because we got 11, 12 out there at a time,
Absolutely. And they run a lot.
and they run and they got to take breaks.
There goes my receiver.
Right. So yeah, I would think
I would
it would
think.
be if they flip flop that, they'd get more play in the football
I
realm
would
of
think
it
so.
all. It would make sense to me.
Woodhaven lost to Salem 5-1. So I would assume that's Plymouth, Salem?
Yes.
Okay. And they had a close game with Edsel Ford. On Wednesday, they won 2-1. So
Don't throw that.
I'm not. Can I throw half of it?
You could throw half of it.
That half I'm done with.
That's the
Still
half
got
you're
my
done with.
skills.
I still haven't been able to get a hold of any volleyball results. I am telling you, it's like top secret.
Really?
It's like top secret. You go on sites and you find like some of the local teams, but the Wyandotte teams I cannot locate.
That's dang.
It's driving me nuts.
Yeah.
It's driving me nuts because we want to get into that.
Yes, we do.
A couple things. YouTube-wise, we're on YouTube. If you want to find us on Local Sports Wrap-Up on YouTube, we are there. But the dedication of the Memorial Park to
Oh,
Sam
nice,
Palomera.
nice.
Remember, they did the complex?
Yes.
And up, down, and around town, they another show on Wyandotte Cable. They featured, a light roast of him. I guess a G-rated roast of him, okay? And we recorded this. Well, we didn't record this, but
Somebody did.
somebody did.
Well, they had the X-rated, or not the R-rated one after they shut the cameras off? Is that what you're saying?
Who knows?
Oh, okay.
But if you want to catch that and you have missed that, or you really want to see it, go to YouTube, Up, Down, and Around Town, and just type that in, and that show should come up.
I got to tell you, I do find that show very interesting. It covers a lot of variations of what they can do in the city. This city has so many things, so many things to offer everybody. It's a really unique city. It's very, very, very nice.
Well, there's something going on right in the parking lot of the ice rink tonight.
It looked like a carnival.
Carnival rides, yep, and I'm not sure who's hosting it, and they're getting kind of gypped on the weather. But it'll break. It's not going to rain nonstop.
Anyway, you think you're getting gypped on the weather, go try knocking on those 3 little milk bottles.
We should,
You'll get gypped.
Let's go ride something when we get out of here. That would be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go spin around in a tilt-a-whirl and
Oh, yeah.
get all lightheaded.
This kind of weather, we'll be on there by ourselves.
That's right. Also on YouTube, one more thing. The 1986 Mount Carmel basketball state champs.
Oh, they're doing something for them?
Well, they had a nice Hall of Fame thing at the Bentley back on August 24th.
The Bentley?
And we recorded that too.
Oh,
And it was on the loop. Now that you live in Trenton, you missed it all out. But it was on the loop in Wyandotte for a while. But if any of you young ladies that were in that event and you want to watch it, you can YouTube that also. And just YouTube the 1986 Mount Carmel girls basketball state champ banquet.
Oh.
And
then you can see all.
It's like an hour and something of their banquet and everybody talking about how great they were.
To all my creditors, I fly in to do this show. I don't live in Trenton anymore. I have not been seen in Trenton for years. Okay, they got the practice information for the Wyandotte Warriors.
Ice hockey.
Yes.
Right here at the Yak.
Right up your alley because weren't you a coach?
I was a coach.
Yes.
I coached for many years, and then there was a while where I had to step back but then I got to the JV high school level, and me and my good friends, Norm Wheeler and Mike Mahalik, took over. Well, Mike was the head coach, but he took over.
You guys ran a coup?
Yeah, he took over, and then we joined the Michigan High School JV Hockey League. There were about 20 teams in that league, and we played like 30 games in the season. It was crazy.
Well, I bet that cost you a lot of money.
The money, you can't put a price on your kids.
The heck, I can't get a basketball, and there's a rim out there. Are you kidding me? No way.
Yeah, it was. The high school doesn't have any association with the JV. It's an interesting setup because I don't know, my son never played varsity hockey. I don't know what they cover, if they have an ice bill. They do fundraise, I know that.
You'd have to.
And we had to too. But the JV aspect of it, parents were, probably forking over $180, $160 a month, And then we travel to the games. We'd have to go to Heartland to play. We'd make an overnighter.
Okay.
We had to play Midland.
Okay.
Up in Bay City.
Okay, that brings me to a point here. You being a father, let's just say I'm your kid. And I want to play, Dad. I want to play. And the expense of the equipment and the time and the places you travel to, the expense because next year he grew a foot or 6 inches. Now he needs new equipment, new skates. The cost and the kid's 15th on the team.
Well,
so just do you keep feeding the passion of this child?
If he has passion as he grows older, he will get better.
He'll get money
agree.
And get the passion back again.
Well, and there's plenty of ways around that.
There is?
You don't have to.
That's why I asked.
I program 6U, 8U, 10U, 12U. Well, there's a 10U person that their kid grew out of it, and you're got an 8U kid, buy
Oh,
their
so you
stuff.
sell it?
Buy their stuff,
Or buy
right?
their
Or
stuff?
hand it down or whatever. I was fortunate enough. Mark Tekolinsky, good friend of mine, his kid was 2 years older than mine.
Okay.
So
Size-wise, you were
and
close?
he was bigger. So Nick could grow into all his stuff, skates and everything. He always bought
Well,
his
that's
kid.
a blessing.
And he bought his kid good stuff. So
Well, that's great. So what you're saying, there's a little bit of a community there amongst the
Correct.
parents that you say, man, come on, just stuff the toes.
It's not-
The kid will grow into the skates.
Right. It's not the nightmare that you think it can be.
Oh, okay.
You
I think
know?
it's a nightmare. Of course, I didn't have any children.
Right. But
I
if
thought
you
that was a nightmare.
used equipment and, sticks you have to continue to buy, and you have to spend $100 a month on ice. That's a bar tab.
How many do they break in a season? Just curious.
Depends
Hey, what do you
how-
mean a bar tab? What do I know
Depends
about
how
that?
active. Depends how active they are. You know, they could play a whole season and not break a stick. But as they
Well,
got
if he's
older,
a 15th player, he probably does.
when they get older and they're in JV, then you definitely will get. You'll go through some equipment.
Fantastic. Well, I just want to let you know that the I program, Sunday 3 to 3:50, and Wednesday 6:30 to 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Now the 6th youth, 8th youth, I assume that's the
8U, yeah,
the
6 and 8
years.
years.
Tuesday 6:30 to 7:20, Friday to 6:30 to 7:20. 10th youth is Tuesday 7:30 to 8:20, Friday 7:30 to 8:20. 12 youth is Wednesday 7:30 to 8:20. I understand they're having some problems getting kids in that.
In the 12U?
That is correct, the 12 and the 14.
Well, see, my theory would be that they've hit middle school, and now they're playing something else. And that's the right age too. That's the age where
Girls.
after you fed your kid through the system, he kind of makes up their mind at 12 what they want to do. You know, they
Yeah,
figure
not
out.
listen to you.
Well, they kind of figure out. Parenting's a tough gig. Okay.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you without a
They'll
doubt.
listen. They'll listen.
they'll
If you're
listen.
reasonable, they'll listen.
Dad, I got 911 on my phone. Don't you tell me to listen.
You're in the wrong household, son.
Anyway, Wyandotte Warriors Hockey Association is currently seeking some coaches also. So anybody out there would like to be a coach, it is very rewarding. As Marty and I have been doing it, I've actually been coaching since 1977 when I had my very first team after high school. So I'd been coaching a long time, not having children. It gave me the reward of being able to see the pleasure of seeing these kids learn and then saying goodbye to them at the end of the day.
I'll say one thing. Kids are older now. You know, my son's 23, and I run into their 23-year-old kids I coached, like some of these events, you know, back in the band area of the street fair, you know, and they all say Coach Marty. You know, they don't ever say, hey, Marty. You know, it's always Coach Marty, you know, which is cool.
That
you know.
is. They say that in the winter with a snowball. Coach Marty.
Yeah. I'm not out in the cold. What are you
okay.
talking about? If I had my way, I'd be a snowbird, but I work for a living.
They got a Chipotle fundraiser on September 28th at 5 o'clock. That would be tomorrow, I would assume. And that's at Fairlane Drive in Allen Park, 3125.
Yeah, that's on the hill, right? Chipotle's
Up
on the hill.
the hill.
Up on the hill there in
Yes.
Allen Park. Seems a long way for a Wyandotte fundraiser.
And if you'd like to, if you'd like to find out about it, the WWHA president is Mike Windhurst. His phone number is 734-341-5824.
They have
To all, have a good day.
what you call it? They have a Facebook page. I think
do?
you can get information
you
off
go.
of that. So we have our pro teams. Our Tigers are closing things out in Chicago this weekend, I believe. 4 games they have to play, and there's a front coming through there. Good luck.
Yeah.
They may not even get to play these useless games, but they have to
I
somehow.
don't believe they have to, because Chicago's not an independent race, Detroit's not an independent race, and the way they play, I don't think they're
Anyone's
struggling.
looking for MVP honors in any of those two
No,
teams?
there's no
you don't
awards.
think?
Although I do believe that they won an award for losing the most games at home.
The Tigers?
The Tigers, correct. But don't quote me on that, but I believe that they did.
I had it on. I had the fan on today at work, and when I was listening, they were on until the game came on, and then when the game came on, it's something like they won 21 or 22 games out of 82 at home, 22 games maybe max at home. That's
which they play 81.
Right. That's not good.
No.
That's not good at all.
No.
I
think the record's 60. I believe 60 losses at home was a major league record. Wow. And it's funny that you said that because that would put them right there.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, it's
so the fans listening, what would you call them? Fans all dropped as soon as the game come on.
It was in the backdrop at work. I couldn't change the station.
How about them Lions?
But I will say one more thing about the Tigers. They had their jersey giveaway day on Sunday, and their last game was a Thursday afternoon game with school in there. And I didn't read the attendance for yesterday's game, but it wasn't.
They showed a picture. It was so bad that they showed a picture of it on the Detroit News front page. And believe me, you could sit anywhere. The ushers didn't have to sit anybody anywhere. Ushers were down at the front rows. Everybody in there looked like we got a group.
What?
It was pretty tough.
One customer per usher.
Absolutely. You know, it was so bad the ice cream people didn't show up. The popcorn people, why?
None of the vendors? You were a vendor once.
I was. One day I was Detroit. This is a great story. Real quick, too.
Yep.
I was a ice cream vendor. Back then they didn't have magnesium. So I had actual like steel and dry ice in my ice cream because I started off at the lowest level.
Ice cream was the lowest level in April?
Yes. Beer was the highest level, right, in April, right. So anyway, I started off, you have to buy your ice cream. So I had to pay, I don't know, $30 or so. And then when you sell it, you go back and keep buying, and that's how it worked. I don't know.
You might make 50 cents a bar.
I never went back to find out what I got. I took my losses and left. But anyway, I walked around the bottom of that stadium because I didn't have the Chakutas to go walking up and down the aisle yelling ice cream. So this one kid kept following me all the way around. Finally, I stopped. Why are you following me? Kid says, I want an ice cream. I said, 35 cents. He goes, I don't have 35 cents. I said, I'll tell you what, here's an ice cream, but quit following me around. Absolutely. So he's quit following me around. I got the gumption, went all the way up, went ice cream, went all the way to the top. Where did I put my ice cream container at? Behind a group of handicapped people. So I had about 5 or 6 of these children asking me for an ice cream. And I said, okay, 35 cents. And they handed me a nickel and a dime. And none of the money was right. So I just said, here. How am I going to argue?
Right.
Nobody's there. You know, if you were there, I'd argue with you saying, why don't you give the kid 35 cents?
Right.
These kids weren't, and they were looking at me real sad. I said, here like that.
See that?
After that, I went back and said, here, I'm done. I'm just not good at this. So yeah, one day I worked for the
probably
Tigers.
a hot chocolate kind of day in April, too.
Oh, yeah, well.
You know, nobody wanted the ice cream.
No, but I did find out the hot dog and beer sellers were
where it's at, and you probably had to get your time in to get up in that step.
Correct, but I was old enough to sell at that time.
Oh, okay.
Because 18.
Yeah, because 18.
Correct.
Yeah, we got that nice mix.
Right.
We were 19 and a half when they took the drinking age away.
Now let's get on these Lions. Are you
undefeated?
impressed?
The undefeated Lions?
Unbelievable.
I can't get impressed. I can't.
Why? They beat Philadelphia. Philadelphia just last night beat the Packers. I'm telling you what,
but
I gotta get my playoff tickets early.
Get your playoff tickets now.
I said it last week.
Philly had 2 people that weren't starting that started against the Pack.
Timing's everything in life, buddy.
Jim Leland, not who you play, it's when you play them.
That's correct.
You know,
and I firmly believe that.
And so I will say, big test Sunday. Now the Silverdome. That's what I had season tickets when Barry Sanders ran the ball.
Yeah, I've actually got kicked out of there before.
Oh, have you?
Yes.
So anyway, I did have tickets down here too, at Ford Field.
But I went nicely.
But the big game, it's going to be loud. It's going to be packing it in.
What, Kansas City bringing their own fans? Oh, no, that's right.
No, the Lions, they sold it out, believe it or not.
You know why? They have Lion believers. Every year they think, this is the year, man. I want to be alive for this year.
Worst thing that can happen, they take it in 4-game blocks. They're 2-1-1. That's not bad. But then you better go 2-1 or 3-1 the next block of 4, and that's all against division rivals. You've got Minnesota, you've got Chicago, you've got Green Bay in the next block of 4. It's going to be football. It's hard to win in the NFL. Our team has proved that. So,
well, they couldn't put that team away last week, Philadelphia.
No,
they won
could've.
in spite of themselves.
Yes, they should have, and they didn't. And I didn't even see it, but then I saw the replay of the guy missing the last play of the game. Well, the 4th down pass, it was right in his hands. It hit him in the wrong spot. Crazy. Just crazy.
All right, what do you think about the Wings? You know, the season starts October 2nd and 3rd.
Well, I would like to see I like what they're doing. Having not watched much of anything, I like what they're doing because a lot of the youth are getting playing time. And they've had strong teams in Grand Rapids, very strong teams in Grand Rapids over the years. And these young guys can fly. And I think the NFL is all about speed. Guys that are slower just aren't sticking around.
It's all about speed. Absolutely.
It never used to be. It was about big physical, but it's different now. It's the guys that can fly.
They don't just dump the puck anymore.
And the difference is also these guys that are 6'6" can fly. Before it was the little 5'10" guy that could get all over the 6-footer. Now these big guys, Mantha's a beast, and he zooms up and down the ice like it's nothing. So I've had a partial season ticket over there for quite some time. I don't have them this year.
Like that place, though.
I got a kid in college. I can't buy that this year, but I can get you tickets. Anyone that's interested, Local Sports Wrap
Well,
Up
when she gets you
at
nice...
gmail.com.
Yeah.
And let me know. And I'll get you tickets.
On a final note, what do you think about our suicide pool? Who's your team this week?
I'm going LA Rams. Tampa Bay's got to cross the country. They're not a bad team, Tampa. They've won 1 game and lost 2. They beat the lowly Giants, though, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Okay, so that was yours. I like the Rams, but now you're scaring me. Now I think I'm going to have to go with the Chargers. What, they're 16
Well, the
point
Chargers
favorites?
are coming into Miami, and I have partners or guys that are playing that like the Chargers also. Miami's going to win a game. They're not going to go undefeated, but they're not going to go without a win.
Right.
Is it this week against the Chargers? Probably not, because the Chargers are, that point spread. Let me refresh everybody on that point spread thing. It's only to get the money bet on both sides of the coin equally. It has nothing to do with how good that team is against the other. If they start betting more money, start betting more money. I've heard if you start betting more money on Miami, it goes from 16 to 13 to get people to stop betting money on Miami and start betting money on the Chargers. Yeah. So that line has nothing to do with the ability of that football team.
Well, on the suicide pool, we're just picking a winner.
Correct, straight up. I like who I picked. Indianapolis is playing the Raiders.
I like that. That's a good pick, Indy.
That's everybody's got their thing.
Time has come.
YouTube, look us up, Local Sports Wrap Up, and if that's for all the rowers. And look us up. Hi, Mom, and don't forget get a hold of us, Local Sports Wrap Up at gmail.com. I'm Marty Janeski, and along with my good friend Ken Montroy, we are your hosts of Local Sports Wrap Up. We'll be back with you next week on a Saturday with some high school sports results. Check out the Mellis. You'll get them. Thank you.